Welcome everybody to the P&J Live Arena here in Aberdeen, the Granite City, way up north here in Scotland. Such an amazing country to be at. We really hope we keep coming back year after year. Welcome to On the Wire, the pre-show before the big event's going to happen here in just less than an hour's time, really. We've got the track walk again going on behind me with my fellow co-host Matt Crowhurst is out there. As you can see, look, we've got people, they're going to get on TV. This is what I love about Arenacross, the engagement with the public. There you go, you're on TV, fellas. That's it, good. None of this static like BBC News reporter, like trying to keep it professional. I'm embracing that. Yeah, who said anything about us being professional? Right. They're having a great time. By the way, if you are going to come out to Birmingham or London or even tomorrow night, you can still get on these track walks. They're well worth it. You get to see some behind-the-scenes stuff that you wouldn't see. Right. Let's crack on with our first guest, Mr. Mark McCann. Mark, welcome.
Thank you.
Let me introduce Mark. He is the team owner of the Mark McCann 64 YouTube channel racing team. Obviously, absolute AX fanatic. So let's talk about that. You know, you've obviously done a lot of things in the sport of motocross. You started a very successful clothing brand with Fro Systems. I think you used to ride a little bit early doors, or did you not?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that first. Come on, let's talk about your own riding career. How did this journey start?
My dad was always a racer. He raced grass track and ice speedway, and then we raced BMX, and I eventually went to motocross. Smashed myself to pieces like we all do, and then there was nothing left which really worked, and then I went into cars because it was with age comes a cage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And obviously since then got into Arenacross, started our own team, and I love it.
So why, you know, because you were involved in the sport of motocross, you supported a lot of riders through Fro Systems. I mean, top level GP riders, GP winners, etc. And that was a successful thing for you, but at that point you'd never sort of really put a team together. You supported individuals with the clothing brand.
Yeah.
So was it Arenacross then that really sort of convinced you to go, do you know what, I'm actually going to put a team together? And if so, why?
I think there's probably the main reason is the time of year. So, you know, it's a time of year when, you know, we haven't got as much on, and the weather as well, you know. Like being inside these stadiums, the heating's on, you know, you're not muddy, it's not like a stress, you're not getting towed in and out of a field. And that's what I love about this, is sort of like, you know, the family atmosphere and, yeah, not being freezing cold.
You've always been sort of switched on regards of marketing and the corporate side of it. So I guess that also really appealed to you regards of putting the brand out there and what you want to do, but also, like you say, like bringing people into that environment. It surely must make it easier, you know, when you're trying to attract sponsors or corporate clients.
Yeah, definitely. I think for a lot of the stuff we do as well, this, you know, when you go to a British Championship or stuff like that, fantastic crowd, but they are very motocross.
Yeah.
You come here and you've got fresh eyes, fresh people, people who are not necessarily involved in the sport. And for us, when we're doing, you know, sort of promotions, especially with our YouTube channel, you know, these are people who, you know, like I say, we're fresh into their eyes, so it's like a new audience, which for us is really important.
Do you also think now you're kind of heavily incorporated into the car market? We'll get onto the channel in a minute. That also that demographic and people that are into car racing might find this a little bit easier to understand and follow.
Yeah, and again, like what we said with here, you know, it's very easy to follow. You know, if you come with your family, if you're not into, you know, strictly into motocross, you can understand that there's so many laps and there's a winner, which I think makes a great sort of spectacle, that you understand at the end of the night that person is the championship, you know, the champion.
Yeah.
With a lot of, you know, races in, you know, everywhere else it's across 2 races, and, you know, nobody quite understands who wins, but with this, the person who takes a checker flag is the winner.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Let's talk about the channel then, because that comes as a surprise to me. I know you're always like switched on to doing stuff, but I for a little while there I didn't even know you were doing it. And then somebody said, oh, have you seen Mark's channel? You know, like, so YouTube channel. So listen, like I understand the inspiration, you know, where it come from, but again, what kind of led you down that path to do that? Because up until that point, you were running Fro Systems, all that, but within the industry, you wouldn't be one for sitting down and doing a load of interviews, you know, really.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, there you are on YouTube, like, having it, like, presenting and doing all these things. So, did that take you out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, I've always led a very private life, and I got asked because
so you decided to start a YouTube
the
channel.
absolute opposite. Yeah, the absolute opposite. And I did a TV show for BBC. And I met a few people on the BBC TV show. One guy, Ryan Taylor, very, very massive in YouTube, and he sort of took me under his wing and sort of showed me what it could be. And YouTube is an amazing platform because you've got the freedom. You don't have to be a TV presenter. You can sort of get that camera and just do your own thing. And it's a fantastic platform for anybody. You just need an iPhone.
Yeah.
It's simply that easy. And the doors that YouTube channel opens is just, I was sat at Goodwood in a car this summer. I had Tom Christensen in front of me, there was Mark from Redditch, and then there was Travis Pastrana behind me, sat on Goodwood Start Hill, and I thought, this is what YouTube does.
And that's got you there,
It takes you all over the world. I was at a car show not so long ago, and there was an Olympian there, and he come running over, said, "Can I have my photo taken with you?"
Oh, wow.
And I was like, man, this guy literally has gold medals, and he wants his photo taken with me. It's bizarre.
You got to keep the content rolling, so that's a stress in itself.
Very
is it you that just comes up with the ideas, or have you got a team where you...
It is got a bit sort of serious now, so there's a team of us to make good content. To the level we're doing now, it is a little bit a bit more than what it used to be. But yeah, it's there's definitely a lot more clever people than me.
So go on, tell me what numbers are you up to now? How many subscribers have you got now?
Subscribers were just gone over 200,000, which is nice.
Yeah.
And videos, I think. We're probably so far in the last 12 months we're about 20 million sort of views, so it's getting serious stuff now. It really is.
I'd be worried about that in a good way. I'd be like brushing my teeth at night, going, "Man, I got to have some Botox." There's all these people watching me now. Fair play to you. Let's talk about the team then very quickly before you go, because again, you're running a team. But I saw you putting graphics on earlier on, hands on. I wasn't sure about the quality fin. I'm going to go back and inspect them and see if there's air bubbles in there.
They're not on there anymore. They all fell off.
So you've had a little bit of a setback as in regards of lost Dylan Woodcock, who's riding great.
Yeah, it was a big shame for us.
And like I said, you've won this team title before, and I knew what it meant to you. So you're going for that again. So you didn't want to lose out on the team competition. So you brought in Jorge, who we're going to bring on next.
Yeah, obviously losing Dylan was a massive loss for us. Really. And this week's been very stressful because we have to have this team, and for us because it's my wife, my little girl, and all my friends. That's what our team is. It's not full of sort of professionals. It's just us like having a good time, and I really wanted all of us to still be a part of that. So it's been a stressful week, but obviously we've got Jorge over, and he's just fitted in perfect, and he's fast, real fast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And he's riding a Stark, which again, I know we've got Starks in it, but another dimension. You actually said to me earlier on, you're still a petrol head to that sense, but at the same time, you're not going to quibble if he goes out there and puts it on the box.
You can't argue what these bikes are doing. They are obviously brilliant. They must be from, they're winning races, and they're so new. And I'm not a fan of electric cars, but I'm a new fan of electric bikes because and the start, and you can see why people it's the future, of course it is, but it's exciting to see him on it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. We've got your hometown round coming up. Obviously we've got another round here tomorrow at Aberdeen, but then next week we're in Birmingham. I know you always go big on there. Any plans regards of what you're going to do there? Anything for the channel?
We're actually filming a video there, and the hopefully Dylan will be back, because obviously Dylan will be a massive part of that, especially the journey he's been on. He's obviously suffered this week. He's got a concussion, and he had to have a 9-day suspension, which is like really, really, clever that they do that and look after his health. And hopefully, if he's back next weekend and then puts it on the box, it's going to tell an amazing story.
Yeah, and you've got all your family, friends there.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure because my brother and his wife and my nieces are coming, and it's going to be this is amazing. Next week's amazing.
Everything's amazing.
I just love it. I love it.
Oh, well, look, you're an integral part of it now. It's great having you coming out every year. Hopefully, obviously, as we go, you'll go with us every year and keep building this thing, because I think we still got plenty of opportunity, maybe new cities to make. We need more arenas being built in the UK.
Yeah.
So can people in all major cities start listening up, building some nice arenas?
But it gets better every year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Every year, and I feel that everyone's gelling more. Everyone's seeing each other every year. Everyone supports each other. Yeah, it's a great series.
Well, look, I'll let you go and put more graphics on, because the first lot peeled off. No, that's not true. I'm making that up.
It is true.
You go and get ready.
Thank you.
We're going to get your stand-in rider in. Thanks, Mark. I'll grab that off you. Nice one. Let me grab that and let's get the man in. Okay, there you go. Just stick them on. Good stuff. Okay, luckily, our next guest, his English is considerably better than my Spanish. And he worries about his English. I said, so Jorge, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, like we said earlier, like you was a bit worried, like, oh, listen, like if we had to do this in Spanish, it wouldn't last very long. So thank you for coming out. So tell me, I mean, when did you get the call from Mark to come in and do this?
This week, yeah, he told me if I was able to do this race, and I say yes. I told him it was possible to race with the Star because I'm training and racing also with the Star team, but for this championship it was not possible to do it. So yeah, Mark told me that was possible to race with the Star. Star gave me the green light. So yeah, I was super happy because I really want to be here, you know, racing Supercross and Arenacross.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I love it, and this track is super good.
That's cool that Start give you the green light to do it, because they're still at a stage where developing the bike and all those things and getting the branding right and making sure. So credit to them for letting you ride it.
Yeah.
So when you're down there, you know, because the test track, the guys at Stark are pretty much right. Do you actually live in Valencia, or have you kind of gone there to work more with the Stark guys?
Yes, I live in Valencia, but I have like 3 hours driving. So yeah, almost every week I'm going there, you know, for training, because they have the track that is super good, you know, always perfect for training. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
So I want to talk about your career a little bit. Before we go back to your career up to this point, let's just talk about this. Obviously, you've been out now this morning. Again, new environment, cold. The first thing he says, like, it's cold, but not as cold as you expected. It's the first time you've been in Scotland.
Yes, my first time, and it's quite okay. And here inside, it's warm. It's perfect, yes.
It's all right. So how did it go out there this morning in practice? You posted some good times in qualifying. Are you feeling good for your first Arenacross?
Yes. The truth is that I'm feeling really good. The track is super soft, but I like it. I really enjoy it. It's quite big, and yeah, I can't wait for the races.
What about some of the competition? You would have raced, I would imagine, with some of the guys. Some of you wouldn't know. I guess have you raced with Thomas at some point? Thomas Doe, have you ever raced with him and a few others?
Yes.
Yeah. So what about like Justin Bogle? Have you ever raced with him? I know he's down there doing the Stark thing with you, but
yes.
Have you ever actually raced with Justin?
One race in Barcelona.
Who remind me who came out? Sorry, maybe I shouldn't. Who was the best?
No, but Justin. Yeah, he won.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked. So you got to turn him over.
Yeah, I think it was my first race on Supercross, so yeah, it was terrible, and he won the race. So.
But the indoor stuff, you've kind of maybe focused a bit more on that now, because obviously, you know, motocross was your kind of initial entry point and the career that you were pursuing, Grand Prix, etc. That didn't sort of really work out. You was unfortunate with some injuries. So just tell us quickly about your career in motocross, you know, and why you felt you don't do so much. You're looking more indoor stuff now. But tell us briefly about your GP career and what went on there.
Yes. At the end, you know, when I was younger, my dream was to go to USA, you know, for Supercross, the big dream and all that. But at the end, we don't have here in Europe Supercross races, like good championship, you know, to do that. So all my career was racing motocross. So all the opportunities that I had was for motocross. So yeah, I had the opportunity when I was 15 years old to join the Factory Suzuki Europe.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, and then I was racing for HRC. I've been very unlucky with injuries, but right now, my focus is to change in Supercross because it's what I really enjoy. On training on my. Like every day, when I have to go to the track, when I train motocross, it's like,
I get it. It's a lot more physical effort, more traveling.
Yes, and it's what I've been doing all my life. So it's like, again, on the same tracks, doing the same people. So to race these things is super fun, and I think I will focus the next years on that.
Yeah, because you still got, how old are you now? You still got plenty of time.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, you see, you're coming up to your prime. That's where everything falls in line. You've got all the experience. Going back to the GP career, do you think, for me, from watching, having been an ex-GP rider myself, not to the level that you guys were, but it felt at that point that the Spanish motocross scene was just starting to sort of be on the rise, and there was some genuine talent like yourself starting to come out of Spain at that point. Did you feel any pressure, not just from being a factory rider, but from the expectation of a country? Because, Prado is kind of was just behind you,
Yeah.
And now Spain are producing some really good riders now, aren't they?
Yes, it's true. That when I started, racing for factory teams and all that, I was like, after Barragan and Vico, it was me,
Yeah.
So I feel that pressure a little bit, but at the end, I think that we are doing this for have fun, and I think I learned a lot of things, in that years, and like I told you right now, I don't feel any pressure. I just want to go, have fun, and enjoy this beautiful sport.
Well, that's when the results actually come, right?
Exactly.
So I'm really, I shouldn't be saying it, but I'm genuinely looking forward to watching you ride, because the last time I saw you ride was actually at a GP, I think. I can't remember which one, but so it's great to see you back on a bike and healthy and happy. That's kind of cool. Beyond Arenacross and being drafted into this, what have you got? Anything like plans in concrete for the rest of the year, or are you just kind of, what is the schedule for you this year?
Yes, I will be racing the Supercross in France, the Sex Tour. So I will be training and doing all the races I can do before this championship, and that's the plan.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Well, look, we'll let you go and get ready, because I'm excited to see you out there. You've got to get kitted up and make sure your bike's fully charged.
Yes.
There you go. There's Jorge Zaragoza. All the best tonight, man. We look forward to introducing you to this crowd and coming out. If you just take the headset off, and I'll give that to the next guest, which is going to be a good one. I'm not saying Jorge's not at all, because this next guy, here he comes. Walk on in. You always got to do it a different way. Let's just speed it up, put the cans on, because the next guest is, if we're in Scotland, well, it only seems right to pull out the ace card. He's got many nicknames. The King of Scotland.
That was self-proclaimed.
That's self-proclaimed.
But I didn't win the championship this year, so that's up for grabs. But
right.
Between me, John Adamson, and Sean Simpson, we could all potentially claim King of Scotland.
Absolutely.
Someone's got to be the Joker and someone's got to be the ace. So I might take on the Joker role.
Exactly.
I think that would be way more fun.
Everybody's got a part to play. So King of Scotland, Big Jock, because I've known him for a long time. Scottish Jesus
came alive during COVID era.
Who that is? That's Mr. Billy McKenzie, the only British rider, by the way, to ever win an MX2 and MX1.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, that's it.
Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's a small detail that's missed sometimes, but I have been and done it on the world scale, and I'm quite proud of it these days.
Oh.
I've been and done it, so I can say, I've been and done it and own it a little bit.
Well, that's why that makes it a very interesting night. Right, so anybody watching this, let me bring this up to speed. The fact that he's just sat here is... well, I didn't even realise this was going to happen. He didn't even know this was going to happen. So talk us through the last, let's say, 48 hours. Yeah. Explain how you've ended up sat here talking to me about to go.
Good, I'll give you a rest, mate, because you've been doing a lot of talking.
Thank you.
No, I can join. So So I realised that I just had to get riding. I realised Arenacross was on. I wanted to ride it. I wanted to be here because it's a cool event and the track's always good. I knew the arena was a perfect setting for it, and I just love racing in Scotland these days. I'm a Scottish promoter for motocross, supercross, all of it. But I didn't have a bike, and I was literally trying to blag a bike off all the teams. I knew Tommy was injured. I knew Mel was injured. I'm like, mate, you've got a spare bike there, but I haven't been riding at all. And the potential of me being really bad or really good's always, So I even thought about riding the CR500 because that was the only bike that I had sort of like.
Good God.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can.
Through those whoops, no one would have touched me.
No.
Anyway, luckily my team from Modu, they were like, listen, Bill, if you need a new bike, we'll get you a new bike. So I'm like, right, cool. Let me call the man at Kawasaki. He'll do me a good deal. Because we're on that Kawasaki deal eternally, and they called up the local distributor, which is now Drysdale's Motorcycles in Perth, which they were able to roll a brand new KX450 2024 model straight off their showroom floor into the back of my van, and here I am. I had to get my suspension from my old bike, and that was all I needed to go riding, and then now I'm here.
Also, yeah, but just
one small detail I'll tell you is I literally on the rush up here, the last place I went was to get my suspension off my bike and my handlebars, but I forgot to bring a toothbrush, toothpaste, boxer shorts and socks, and so I've got one pair of jeans, I've already borrowed some socks, and all I need is my helmet, my goggles, my gloves, and I'll be out there racing. There
he is, former pro racer, now very much not pro. Pro in obviously talent, not in organisation.
Nah, not this time, but it's the first race of the year for me. I have not done any races for the last few months, and to sort of jump straight into the deep end here at Arenacross, with such a tight course and such a technical course, it must be just that's what gets me going these days.
It's so you, isn't it? It is so you, though. It's the kind of thing I knew that
you can rely on.
You rely on, like you pull off. So what have you been doing in the off? I mean, I say off season. You're retired now from pro race now.
Well, I've never said that actually.
Have you not?
Never
so we're
said
just making
the R
that
word.
assumption.
Yeah, everyone just thinks because I'm older that's what I do. But I'm just kicking into gear, mate. There's a whole vet scene about to start.
You getting a second wind?
Of course, mate. There's a whole vet scene about to start, and when I look at people like Mike Brown, just still fit ads, doing everything, I'm like, well, that's the new pedestal. So, the vet scene's alive. There's loads of races going on, and I just enjoy it. So and I'll do the pros as well.
Genuinely, then, so that has given you a little bit more of a lease. So what I mean by that, this might be a bit of a last-minute thing to come and do this, but for the season ahead, so you're planning to get yourself fit, do it properly.
Listen, I can ride a bike. It's second nature now, So as long as I can still do that, and I'm fit and able enough to do that, riding the bike actually helps me with my fitness and helps me stay focused, accurate, and have a routine.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, while I can still ride bikes and while my team at Modu are helping me and everyone else behind me, I'll still line up. We've got a whole Scottish Championship to do that I'm kind of involved with, helping promote. We've got good people in place. We've got beautiful tracks all over the country.
You've got amazing tracks up here.
It's untouched land, and my sort of role that I've taken on for myself is just to tell everyone about it. I've missed riding in my own backyard because I've been off doing the World Championships and the Australian Championships. I've been everywhere but my back garden. And it turns out it's the most beautiful and the most perfect place ever. So I just want to invite everyone up there. Come and behave yourselves. Take your shoes off at the gates.
Oh, you got to do that because you got to feel the vibe. Let's just very quickly talk about that, because if people are wondering what the hell's he talking about,
the Scottish Jesus stuff.
So you've been for the last year or so kind of walking around at events with no shoes on to get the vibe.
Not really. I just don't like shoes or socks. But people look at me.
That's why you didn't pack any.
And they're like, why don't you have shoes on? I just say, well, why do you have shoes on? If it's a nice summer warm day in a grass field, I just don't see the need. Unless I'm kick-starting my bike, but we don't need to anymore. We've got electric start. But yeah, it kind of came in part with the Scottish Jesus thing. I thought, you know what, it's a funny thing, especially at these vets races. We're riding 500 two-strokes and we're getting absolutely stoned to death. I mean, it kind of the Scottish Jesus thing is just a bit of fun in every angle. But we get stoned to death behind these modern bikes. I'm running around barefoot, and I grew my hair long as well.
Yeah, you did.
And I was just talking a lot, just telling everyone what I thought. Just being like, this is the way it should be. Take your shoes off.
But then you've always been that character. When you first burst onto the pro scene as a kid, you were brash, you would set it as it was. You still do, but even sort of more so now, because I suppose you've been there, like you said, done it, proved it. Just ask this. I want you to answer this question. So you were top level, winning Grand Prix races, factory rider, all that. Went to Australia, those kind of things. Did you then, when you stopped you said you've never retired, but inevitably you slowed down. At that point, you know, you said now you're back riding because you need a focus. So do you think as a sportsman, like we see it a lot with football or people, they're in the pressure pot all the time, then they stop, and then they don't seem to have a purpose, do they? They get in trouble, they go off the rails.
The thing was that I mentioned before is there's the age after 30 to 32, it's kind of deemed as industry standard, you're too old to race professional motocross, but you're not. You've got plenty more left in the tank, but the new pups are coming up and there's this void where you don't know what to do and you're not making the same money you used to. And that's where this vets thing came in, and that's why they dropped age limits and all this, because the industry does stop supporting you at about 30, 32. They're looking for the next young kids. So in motocross especially, I've been in that sort of dip where you can't really find what you want to do. Like, I'd made money from racing professionally, so I got to work and I learned a few skills and I did all that, but I was always just dipping my toes in and still riding because, I can ride to a professional level. But as soon as I'd sort of got my stuff together, I was like, you know what? It's time to start racing again, especially on these 500 two-strokes. It really just gets me going. And it brought all the fun back. And because I'm not doing it for money or anymore, or there's no championship pressures, it's like I can rock up to these events with no pressure. Like, if I was booked into this event previously, it would take up a lot of mental energy. I'd almost look for reasons not to do it.
Is that really? And is that because that's you and that's your character?
It might be just the experience that I've been through, maybe the injuries that I've picked up, where I don't want the pressure of having to do it. I want to do it when I feel like it, and I feel like it all the time. It's just I want to go there with like a relaxed feel and just not have any of the pressures or the expectations. It's like, I just want to go and ride my bike and have fun on a really cool track. And guess what? PJ Live Arena Arenacross is delivering. Yeah. It's indoor, it's warm, my bike's working great, it's brand new, off the showroom floor, my team's here, my girlfriend's on her way up on the train. Like, I got stuff to do tonight.
You have, and let's talk about practice, because not only were you out there learning the track, you had no idea what was going on. You actually used the first session to pretty much run your bike in.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I didn't realise that the two sessions combined was an average lap time for your gate position. So I kind of messed up a little bit there. I went out in the first session running my bike in, getting used to the track, just popping around. The second session I had a bit more of a go. I got through the whoops like pretty dominantly. But then I realised I was like still 10th. I was like, what's going on? Fucking knocking on the door, the timing sheet. Hey. My lap time was better in the second. But yeah, whatever. I'm going to be on the start gate, and I just want to try and take it easy the first few corners. Get over the finish line safely next to people. I'm going to have a word with everyone in the Park Fermi. I'm going to hey, listen, mate, there's a rule here. Stay half a metre away from me, or else.
Can't you, being Scottish geniuses, can't you kind of just part the ways or whatever?
I could maybe work some magic.
Do something like
Mystic Mac, that's a new one.
That's a nice one.
I was thinking about starting the YouTube channel Mystic Mac.
You should do that. That's another one. You've got too many nicknames at this point.
I know. I'm going to have to look. I'll put a vote out.
So qualifying and everything went well. So. We said about going full circle. As a youth racer, you come in with you had expectations because you were gritty and determined from the start.
Yeah.
You then pro career, and now you're on the back end of it. Okay, so it's like you said, almost makes you feel like a kid again. With that in mind, then now you've done qualifying. Are you still thinking like that, or are we going for? What are we going for?
Listen,
what's a realistic target, or what is in your head?
I'll tell you truthfully. I was back at my hotel just a minute ago. I was visualising the whole track like you do. That's what you do as a racer. And there was multiple scenarios I was going through my head, right? But the main one...
That's just an average day for you.
The main one was just get my rear suspension a little bit stiffer and harder because it's a completely stock shock. And all I did was went bang in the middle of all the settings and clickers. So I was out there just with a bit of a flappy rear end. So there's corners on the track where I know I can go faster. There's triples that I want to do. And as soon as I just get my little flow going... I want to, if I hit the triple over in the rhythm section, I'm on for a podium. That's the best. That's the best scenario, right? But likely not to happen because I'll probably take it easy. But it was a thought. And then if everyone else falls off around me, which they're likely to do, because the track is technical, and I feel like I want to just gather my experience, take it cruisy, just wait for people to make mistakes, jump on them, and just see if I can just bring it home nicely tonight, and then tomorrow.
Oh, he's building up to it.
Listen, I will roll with every session, and I will improve, I think, with every session. As you know, and I need the bike time. So there'll be moments where I'm a bit tired or pumped up. I'll accept it because I'm just an old guy now.
Well, you've got other things to worry about now. Go and try and find a toothbrush and some underwear and
I've
whatever.
got the toothbrushes.
Okay, so you've got your girlfriend bringing everything up.
She's bringing stuff up.
Cool, there you go. He's so organised.
Yeah.
Go and get yourself ready.
Thanks,
Always
Jeff.
a pleasure, Bill.
Thanks, guys.
Take your things off.
Enjoy.
Yeah, have a great night, mate. It's such a wonderful last-minute addition to Arenacross here at the P&J Live Arena. Okay, we're going to get the next rider in. We've had some industry people in as well, but we're going to get this cat in. Mr. Luke Burton riding for the Norman Watts Gear Tech team. Rocking. What have we got here? Luke, you've gone in with the white and blue. You're not Scottish. Oh, look. Yeah, look, with the Hawk gear. Check it out. So what, you're getting bespoke kit for each round?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Ben from Hawk, director manager of Hawk, he wanted to do something a little bit different, and he put the ball in my court really, and
that's cool.
And he said, what could we do to be out there a little bit different? I just said, obviously represent each area that we go to.
Yeah.
Country, if you want to call them countries, flags or whatever. But yeah, I think we've definitely done that.
That's good. I didn't know you're doing that.
Yeah.
So that's really, I like that. So we got something special for Birmingham. I know we still got to get through 2 nights of racing here, but Birmingham's hometown for you virtually, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I live on the outskirts.
Or are you not allowed to tell us what you got? We got to wait to see it.
Well, basically, we'll wait till see it.
Yeah, fair play. We spoke a little bit earlier. We did a live Facebook thing this morning. We were walking around, and mate, you've really embraced Arenacross because, you know, like many, you've dedicated a career to push on in motocross, obviously through the AMCA and then coming into the ACU. But you did it for the first time last year, and honestly, like, I was stood back as a presenter, co-host, thinking, well, there's somebody that's really taken this in, not just the riding, everything. Would I be right in saying that?
Yeah, 100%. Every time I get out on the track, I'm absolutely buzzing about it, and I enjoy it more and more each round. Obviously, every round's different, like dirts and the jumps and whatnot, and the tracks change every single lap. So you never. Something's always happening, so it's so exciting.
Yeah, and a new learning curve because it is a different sport, really.
Yeah, it was a shock. I'll be totally honest with you. I'll come into it thinking, yeah, I'm good at jumping. I can do this. I can do that. You put it in this confined space, and it's a different kettle of fish completely. You've got to respect it. And to be fair, I think that's kind of what I've done. Found my feet a little bit before I've walked before I can run.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Absolutely. So last year then, so like I said, you were confident. You'd done a bit of riding, I guess, up at Essex Works or wherever you could. Then we rock up to the first round last year, and that was like a bit more like, wow, once you actually got out there under the lights and the glitz.
For sure. Like, obviously, the track at Essex Works it's good for what it is.
Yeah, of course.
But it's not an Arenacross track as such. It's so much faster than what we do here, and this is, you've got to be precise, really precise here, because if you're literally a foot or two deep or short, it's maybe a crash.
Yeah, I've been saying, I don't know anybody out there watching, but you're going to be onto a winner in the UK motocross scene if you can find a big enough building and put an Arenacross track in there, because you're going to get a load of people coming out to do it. So that's my little pitch there, Dragon's Den pitch. I haven't got the money to do it. Somebody out there must have it. So moving into tonight, let's talk about the tour so far. How's it going for you in year 2?
Really good.
Yeah,
really good. Don't want to delve into detail too much, but I'm suffering with a bit of an illness at the moment.
Right.
It's not affecting my riding, it's just affecting my breathing, and I can't breathe properly.
Oh, yeah, so that's tough.
So it's really frustrating for me, because I'm putting the hours in, I'm doing the training and everything else, and I'm just struggling that side of it. It's not affecting my riding as such as what I can do on the track, but fitness-wise, I just struggle to breathe, and it messes with your focus, if that makes sense.
Of course it does. So if you're struggling, concentration starts to...
But I've been quite lucky, because I ain't had to go into the head-to-heads the last weekend, so I was like, that's a bonus.
Good for you. Not so much us, because last year I thought I even named you, I think, the sort of king of the head-to-heads. You came in and you had some serious track craft straight away, you know, because that's an art, knowing when to lead, when to not, and having eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah, I kind of, I'm not going to give my secrets away.
No,
but
please don't.
I kind of listen to the bikes around me, but then obviously when I come up against Eddie a couple of weeks ago, I was like, crap, how am I going to do this one? Because what I normally do isn't what I can do with this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went with a tactic before I got to Eddie, thinking he's going to end up in me, and it worked. So I went with it again, and it worked.
Yeah.
Luckily, by like skin of my teeth, it worked, and I was like, oh.
But like I said, mate, you don't want to be in those head-to-heads.
No.
For those of you who've never watched Arenacross, basically we have head-to-head heats that is a route to the final. You got after your 2 heat races, if you're in the top 10, then you're kind of already straight in. So you've been doing that. Mm-hmm. So that's obvious improvement.
Yeah, I don't like to bang bars as such. You have to rub to make it through, if that makes sense. I don't want to hurt no one. No. By all means, I don't want to be hurting no one to get myself hurt. I've got 2 beautiful little kids and a nice family around me, so they don't want to see me hurting either. There's a lot of people supporting me, so I just don't want to throw it all away.
Yeah.
Do you know? You
Absolutely.
know? But at the same time, rubbing's racing, as long as we're not T-boning.
At this exactly that. At this stage of your career, I mean, because you've had a great career, particularly like I said at AMCA, and then came in and done some ACU stuff and was there. Was in the mix. Not necessarily pushing on for championship, but that's super tough with like Conrad and Tommy and all that stuff. Do you feel this is like, maybe will give you a little bit more longevity, like in a riding career?
Yeah, it does. Obviously, my job's based around training and in the gym and whatnot, and training kids on the bikes and whatnot. So I don't feel like I'm getting older. I only feel like I've got more experience, and my body doesn't. But this is going back to my frustrations at the minute with the illness and not being able to give it everything. Because I'm riding around, I'll be truthful with you. Like, the riders can't hear me now, but I can only ride around at 65, 70% max. And I know if I go any more, I'll gas out. Yeah, that's what's really frustrating, and that's basically the long and short of it. But I just don't feel like I'm getting older. I feel like I'm getting better. And as long as you're looking after your body, and I'm not a party animal or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I like to have fun with people and do the social side of stuff. But I think I've got many more years left in me. Touch wood.
Peter Pan of AX. That's where we go. Well, good. I hope so, because I love the fact that you're doing it, and we need more British riders doing this and endorsing it. So that's all good. So let's talk about tonight. Then, okay, you don't want to keep going over covered ground, but so the breathing issues and all that kind of stuff. How's this track working out for you?
I think the layout of the track and the build of the track's mega. Absolutely mint. It's just a shame with the weather that we've had, and it just absolutely kills it for obviously the track crew and whatnot. It'd be great, wouldn't it, if you could get the dirt perfect, and then they could have an easy day. But they're working overtime for us to have, and obviously the people that are watching, to make it a good night. Yeah,
they're longing for it. I'll just tell you right now, our track crew, Justin Barkley and Alfie, they're starting to show the signs of not much sleep in building these tracks. So. It is. It's a great arena with plenty of floor space. Let's move now, fast forward then to Birmingham. As we said, we're going to be doing a lot with you, hopefully, leading into that. Because, we want to highlight that we've got athletes all around the country. I should imagine your phone has already been lighting up, as it always does when you're at your regional one.
Yeah.
Got any tickets, mate? Got any tickets?
Better come I'd love to help everyone out, but unfortunately you can't. But one thing I'm going to try and do this time, there was a lot of people come last year, and I absolutely threw it away in the whoops. I went over the handlebars, blew my head to bits, broke the bike, and I was like, I can't believe it. And everyone was like, you're not out. And I was like, my mum was worried. My mum was there. You're right, mum, I love you. Scared everyone, but it was my own fault. It was an error. I shut off in the whoops, but that's due to experience. You can't shut off until you you can't shut off until you've gone past them, as you know. But I didn't know that. I thought the momentum would carry me through, and it didn't. It literally just dropped the front end over the bars, and I was like, that is ridiculous what I've just done. But now, obviously, I've got a lot better in the whoops now with what I've been practicing, and I'm going to try not throw it away this time. Every day's a school day.
Like I said, you're going to have that little bit of extra pressure, but I'm sure you can cope with it, and it must be cool.
Yeah.
Like I say, because the whole lights and glitz. Do you feel that, having come from amateur racing and then racing in motocross, feeling the difference? Do you actually feel more of a athlete? I don't mean physically. I meant more of a bit of a star by doing these arena crosses, because you're there. The spotlight, the spotlight is on you.
Yeah, you can kind of say that when we're doing stuff like this, but once you get on that gate, you've been a racer yourself. Everything's gone, and you're just focusing on the gate and racing the track. My main focus, and what I learned the riders that I coach is to race the track, not a rider, because they start to go backwards then, and they focus on someone else rather than themselves. And I think that's what's helped me in my career over the years. It's just focusing on what's in front of me and not what's around me.
Yeah, that's a good tactic.
Yeah.
You've been doing more autographs than you in the last 2 years, probably, than you've done an entire career, I should imagine, out there, the autographs. So that's must be cool, meeting all the public as well. That's always a cool thing.
Yeah, you meet a lot of characters there, and
that's what
they're buzzing for it, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to see, because they say motocross is dead, and obviously the sport's dying and this and that. But then when you see people like that, you're like, actually, you're wrong. They just need to get off the seat at home and come and actually watch.
Because it is different to what they see on a stream, isn't it? You don't get the same atmosphere coming through the cable.
It's nothing like that actually being here.
Yeah, that's good.
I come to watch a couple 4 years ago. I was like, I fancy a little go at that.
And here you are.
And then here I am now.
Brilliant. That's the kind of stuff we like. Well, long may that continue. Luke, I was going to say go and get ready, but you're already kitted up, suited and booted, so just sticking your boots and your lid on. Listen, best of luck tonight.
Thank you very much,
Go
Jeff.
steady, obviously. We wish you the very best with health issues and hope that clears up soon. Mr. Luke Burton, everybody. He's going to go and be racing out there. Thanks, mate. So there's another rider. Now we're going to bring in, who's in the sidelines here? I'm trying to see, because obviously all lights on. I can't see. Oh, here we go. I knew that, really. I knew it was coming out. Here we go. We'd like to get a bit of an industry feel. We're going to go one better with this one. We're going to get the promoter of Arenacross.
I'm filling in for someone that didn't want to do it.
Oh, there you go. See, that's what promoters do.
I even fill in for my own job.
Well, we might be out there one day. Careful.
Yes, it's very true.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
So filling in. God, 10 years. What have you done to us? You've aged us both.
I thought I was looking all right.
No, yeah, you're looking better than me. Yeah, granted. It's been a great 10 years. I mean, we could be sitting here and being totally biased, and probably people at home thinking, yeah, you are. But it's not. It's been... I had a reminder on my phone earlier on. You know, you get them on Facebook.
Yeah.
He's not on social media as much. But you get reminders of something you posted. And something came up today from 10 years ago, which I think was Birmingham. I was trying to...
Yeah.
And I was like... And it was... Somebody filmed it from the crowd, and I tagged me in, and I was like, wow, that's awesome.
It wasn't when Neil Rugby tackled the... Do you remember that?
I remember that. That was one of the highlights.
The streaker.
For Arenacross. If we're going to do Arenacross highlights, Neil Hawker tackling our one and only streaker.
Yeah.
I
was happy to leave him.
Yeah.
He'd still be running around there now if it was up to me.
We shouldn't have been saying that now, because people watching go, I'm going to go to an Arenacross.
Yeah, liven it up.
But that means you've got to come here to do it, so we'll take that.
Exactly.
But honestly, Matt, like 10 years, in that time, here we are. You've got ideas of driving it forward, which you might talk about now. You might not want to talk about that. But is it everything you'd expect it to be? Did you even expect to get 10 years in?
Do you know, no, because I'm reasonably impatient and kind of lose my drive sometimes. So like I'm not very good at lasting at things. So actually to get to 10 years, I'm like, oh, actually I've got to 10 years. Yeah. And if you count COVID, actually Arenacross has been around for 12 years. Yeah. So no, I didn't really. I wanted it to, and it wasn't until I did the first event. And I'll tell you why I did the first event. Have I ever told you the story of how it came about?
No, because we were already... You got me working at the Pro Nationals, which was prior to this, but then you did the branded Supercross before that.
That's
you got it on Channel 4. Channel 4. But then you rebranded AX. So, tell us how that...
Well, it was purely because John Helen was here. People remember Future West, and he did some races. And for those that don't know, he's a Canadian promoter, and who I really didn't like, by the way. Okay, and he really didn't like me. And I'd done a few races, few events, and he did too. And we clashed dates. And then actually, it got to the point I went to his last ever event at the NEC, and it was only his last ever event because I made sure it was his last only ever event, right? And it was at the NEC, and it was so bad. I thought, right, I'm a classic for if you're going to say you're going to do it, do it. I've moaned on at someone this week about stop talking about what you're going to do, either do it or do one, right? And so I went and sat in his office, John Helen. I said, "Look, John, I want to talk to you." This was I think.
What, did you just rock up?
Yeah, I just rocked up.
Banged on the door?
Yeah, I went and saw him.
That's mad.
And I went, "Look, I'm stood in the crowd, and this is like, what do we have to do to make sure you never come back?" And that was and in fact, and it was within 5 minutes of that conversation I worked out that I really liked John Helen because we had this really honest conversation, and I went, God, you know what? This is an old guy that's really worked hard to do what I've eventually done, and it might not have worked brilliantly for him, but what a great guy. And I look back at it now and I think, you arrogant prick. You know, why were you like that? Why did you? Anyway, regardless of that, that's what started Arenacross, and I've got John Helen to thank for that. And I'm glad I took it on, and best wishes to him, because, you know, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, but it takes, well, did you ever wonder or thought you've bitten off more you can chew at that point? You must, because you've done events at that point, but you rebranded it as AX and upped the ante. I don't mean, because we were going to, you know, down to West Point, and you've done other things, one in Cardiff and that little arena we did there. But arena sizes went up, the level of production really went up, because you treated it more as like, it's an event. Yes, it's got motorbikes, but it's not. It's an event. Yeah, and that's just it. Like I treated it like I should have done. Where I had, at the time when I started, I had a 5 and 7 year old son, or 4 and 5 year old son, and I still got my 4 and 5, 7 year old son. They're now 15 anymore. And 17. They're now grunting a lot more and moaning. Exactly. And I built every show around them, thinking, right, well, you know, what would make them want to go to watch bikes indoors? They're little kids who love football. They're not really into bikes. So, oddly, I got this drive, not just because of that, because I've done a lot with Red Bull in the past, where we created Red Bull X Fighters and loads of other things, where I learned from some of the best people in the world in live entertainment, including the people that owned Supercross, Live Nation or Feld. Yeah. Because they bought Supercross from me 15, 18 years ago. So I worked with the best people, and I worked out that it's a show. And the person that, you know, kind of, that I learnt from was a guy called Eric Perrinard. And for anyone who knows Eric, you know, he started Vegas Supercross. He's one of the pioneers of the Paris Supercross. You know, the guy's a legend. He really is. And funnily enough, I bumped into him in Paris a few months ago. So it was him. I got put together with him when I worked with Feld in America many years ago. And I worked out then, holy shit, actually, stop trying to put on a dirt bike race. Create a piece of live entertainment first that other people want to come to. And fans of the sport will come. But, you know, where's your next fan coming from? And if you get them there, you need them to want to come back. Yeah. And that's always been the rule, you know. What's an average, if there is such a thing, an average week or run on Arenacross? Because what people don't realise is all this rigging and stuff like this, that's not, you have to book those people, bring them in. The logistics alone. Yeah. I mean, I know what it's like because I'm involved with it to a degree. Yeah. You're a hard man to obviously contact while we're doing Arenacross, because your phone and emails must be just going mental. Do you ever get moments where you just want to throw your phone against the wall and smash the table to pieces? And I do. Yeah, for those who know me, that I've not got the longest fuse in the world. And it's not because I just happen to be, you know, that way. It's just I like things done right. And and look, and I've got a really good team around me, and you know it because you're one of them. And there's a lot of people that have been here a lot of years, and I pride myself on that we're not this kind of transient business that just people float in and out of it. They don't. They've been here a long time, and they get what I want. Yeah. And it's not because I'm just needy. It's just I like things done right. Yeah. But you know, as far as it goes for what we do, no, I don't think anyone does have an idea what we do, and it's not for. I've never really wanted to tell them that either. It's just if you go to any concert, any event, wherever, there's just a big old production sits behind it, and we're no different. You know, every lighting, every screen, every sound system, every bit of dirt, you know, everything, we bring it in, and it's. You know, when you're doing it week after week, it's like does the high risk fact, because it is high risk. You know, you got to put bums on seats, otherwise it's a catastrophe. Yeah, of course. And here we are. Be honest, we're in Aberdeen and we're half full tonight. Yeah. Tomorrow we are like 2/3 full. It's not great, but you know what? We'll make it work. Yeah, and. Yeah, week in, week out. It's tough, isn't it? You know, we were in Belfast last week. That was great. Rubbish in some ways because we lost a few riders, which I was gutted about. Not because of the track. No, definitely not. Unluck. You know, bad luck. But I do believe. Look, I've got this
I've got this big thing. I'm a passionate motocross rider fan, like you are, like we are both. And I believe that our sport deserves more than just being in a field in front of 400 people if you're lucky at a British Championship. And that's not knocking the sport. It's just it's evolved.
Where we're at now.
Yeah, that's right. And so when I hear, and I don't see social media because I don't look at it because I'm a sensitive soul and I will react to it, and I've got no switch off, so filter. I will say what I feel, and that's dangerous. So
well, at least you've acknowledged.
Yeah, I've worked that one out. I'm 52. You know, so you know, but the fact is the sport's changed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is for good or bad. You know, if it, you know, I would much rather motocross be where it was 30 years ago. And me not having to do this.
Yeah.
You know,
it's mad though. Like, you know, we put a graphic up on the show this year, 10 years of it, and the production levels and the prize money that's gone into it. I mean, that's the other thing. You know, you're putting some money into riders' pockets, the British riders. So, you know, you know, would you? I guess I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. I guess you'd like to see like more British riders and take it on because you're giving them a platform, albeit a shorter window, to get out there and earn a living from it.
Yeah, totally. And you know, if there was more British riders, I don't know whether they're. I want to create more. I just don't think there's many more at the top that we could have.
Yeah.
You know, I think we would. You know, all credit to Tommy there. He helped hugely, and but I think the next level of rider, you know, that we're trying to make little stars of now, we want them to be our next riders. Look at Dylan Woodcock. You know, he was a little 65 rider at the Red Bull Pro Nationals, and look at them come through. They're the ones that each weekend, if they do well, they can walk away each weekend with $4 or $5 grand in their pocket.
Yeah.
You can't do that anywhere else.
No, you can't. And that's what people, I think, you know, like to elevate the sport, not only for the riders, but the corporate side of it, sponsorship. If you know, obviously you've ran Team Green and Suzuka, Red for you. I'm run a team. Yeah. All those things, regards of the corporate side of it, getting people out, and it's easier to follow. It's a nice environment. All that thing. We're going to say that because we're involved in it, but we believe in it. You obviously believe in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be 10 years in. Yeah. Look, and I'm also like fairly straight up about things. So if it's not great, I will also say, but yeah, you're right. When I know that when brands come to Arenacross, they can be entertained, and it's a great night out. If you're a motocross purist, then you may not like Arenacross, but it's just a good night out still. I am a motocross purist. Yeah, we both are. Yeah. And I would far rather go to Foxhill and watch a Grand Prix than come to my Arenacross. But the fact is I would still go to Arenacross. The bit I struggle with is listening to the people that I thought you were going to listen to me and Matt then. No. God. That's hard enough. But no, but you know the whole like the negativity towards Arenacross is like, just stop. Come out. I'm not trying to be motocross. It's like Arenacross is Arenacross. There's a place for it. Yeah, and you've got to come out to see it because obviously you're watching the live stream part of the feed now, but you don't get a sense of that down the wire until you actually come here and get the whole thing going on, do you? No, I don't think you do. And but look, it's not like the fans don't come out, is it? Look, we still put through 40,000 people through the winter that buy our tickets. So there must be a lot of motocross fans, and so instead of maybe being negative to some of them, actually, I can only thank the ones that have, and they've trusted me enough and you enough to host it that it's good enough to spend the cash on. And don't be telling me things like that. I'm going to start getting nervous. Don't mess it up. I'm going to start getting nervous. I still get the butterflies a bit. Well, look, we've got a show to do. You've got to get up in your control booth and shout in mine and Matt's ears. And I know. And the other thing he does, annoyingly sometimes, is he thinks it's funny to throw a few curveballs by jokes or F-bombs down the line when we're trying to say something. It's quite good, trying to put us off. But the skill in what you guys do, for those who don't know, when I'm in your ear and you're still talking and hosting a show, I just don't listen to you, to be honest. That's I get through it. Well, look, we got to go and do the show. So get up in your perch. He's going to be running up. There you go. AX Mo. We're going to get Tommy in, I think, as well. God, we're going deeper. We'll keep Tommy a little bit shorter because we've got to get this thing wrapped up. Matt's got to go and get ready. Let's get Tommy Searle in because we're working him. Basically, He's not able to ride. He's not able to ride. So I think honestly, I think Tommy's working harder than he's ever worked as a racer. As he rolls his eyes. No, that's not true. You did commit that you wanted to come out and enjoy. I mean, you'd want to be riding, of course, but you are enjoying just kicking back, frustrating as it is, enjoying being part of it, aren't you?
Yeah, it's frustrating, especially when the track looks as good as it does today. And this is the best arena as far as the space goes. And then they've just built a mega track here. So watching this one's quite tough, actually. Watching them all's tough. But especially this one, when I see it this morning, I was I'd like to be out there.
Bit of you, yeah. Bit of you. Well, we're gonna have to wait until next year. We sat up in the VIP lounge because we can. Did an interview earlier on, and you watched your fill-in riders effectively. Even Nick was sort of saying, I think we might have to oust you out of it for next year. Talk us through Pierre. Obviously, has come in, and Thomas. So you were saying they both looking pretty good, and their time suggested it.
Yeah. No, they both look really good. I'd never heard of Pierre before the team brought him on this week, literally a couple of days ago, and he's a friend of Thomas's. He speaks no English. Thomas speaks very little. Not that I speak any French, so I can't say anything. But Thomas is translating for him. But he's riding really well. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and I think that helps with the Arenacross, especially when it's a bit grabby like today. But they both look really good. There's first and third, and I was really enjoying watching them. I feel like I'm personally involved in the team more so than I ever have been with the team. It's more with Nick and John. It's like we're all doing it because we enjoy it, and we're all friends as well. So it's not like a business relationship where, okay, we're paying him to do a job. That's what he does. That's the job. Like, you pay me to win, I'll win. Everyone's happy, sort of thing. Whereas this is more of not a personal relationship, but I feel more involved. So watching them and doing good, it was really nice to see it. And I feel like I want them to do well for the team, just purely because me and Mel. Me especially, obviously I'm expected to win, and I come in, I was winning the series, and I was fastest in practice, and then the first race out on the track, it all went Pete Tong. So then I felt bad because those boys, it's a new team this year. John's come on board. We got Dirt Store on board, which is a great online shop, dirtstore.co.uk, that sells everything related to motorbikes, gear, and they're supporting the team. And then for me to go out of first round was just disappointing for them, and they all had hopes up. And so having these boys here doing well, it's just a nice feeling for them as well, and a little bit of a reward. So hopefully they do have a nice night tonight.
Careful, you were starting to sound a bit like a team manager there.
Yeah, well,
like that could be, maybe, just.
I don't know if I'm ready for a team manager role.
No, give yourself a break for when you do pack it in. When you hang the boots up, at least have a bit of time off. Give yourself some thinking time. I'm offering free advice.
Yeah, there. No, I agree.
Spend some time with the family, and then you'll find out. And then you'll go, oh, I'm kind of missing it a bit. I need to get.
I would miss it. I know I would miss it. I do like it.
Funny, actually. I'm going to bring this up. You did say earlier on, I could probably get you in trouble now with the missus. You did say earlier on how you were like, that you've had a difficult week with the kids. They've been playing up, not getting much sleep. So you was actually happy to get away and get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, I won't tell her that. But
I just have. So
no, she won't watch this. But someone might tag her in it. But Alfie's good. He's 4 now. He's good as gold. He goes to sleep at 7:30. When his light comes on, he's out of bed and comes down. He's good as gold. But the little one, he's just had a rough couple of weeks. He had an ear infection, and then he's teething, and now he's got a cough. So he keeps waking himself up with his cough. And Soph gets up all night, to be fair to her. I don't do an awful lot, but then I try and help out in the day in it. And even for I'm not cut out for that. The childcare, not childcare. She said you can't call it babysitting when it's your own kids. That's not babysitting. But it's tough when they don't sleep. So yeah, I've had a better night's sleep up here than I would have at home. But I generally like being at the events. It's nice to spend time with the team. As I mentioned earlier, then it's like a little family now. And Mel's even come up. What he's here for, I don't know.
He's here for a good night, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. We're not even going out. He loves it. It's all gone to his head, the old media Mel. He's giving us vlog ideas. He's it's all got too much for him.
He's there waiting in the wings if you can't make it, isn't he?
He wasn't even booked on for the signing session, and he's just gone and
Has he
stood
just
on the
rolled
yeah,
in?
he stood on the end like, oh, I'm here, yeah. He's too much. You can't stop him.
He's like one
Out
of
of
those
control.
guys. One of those guys that get on the end of the team photos.
Yeah.
There's a blagger that shouldn't be out
It's
there.
out of control. It's a way to go to the paddock, out the way of everyone, and he walks through the busiest part, waving at people trying to get a picture.
Well, look, I'll let you two go and enjoy your evening and be mildly frustrated, but enjoy the evening up in the stands. The vlog last time out, by the way.
Good.
On point. That was a good. That was a.
I need some vlog ideas for this weekend, just to change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to follow little John Slade because he's flying.
He is flying, and he's the future.
Yeah, so
we need more riders like that. Go and get vlogging, Mr. Tommy Searle. Go and do his bit. As I said, we're working him hard. He's.
Good night racing, boys.
Thanks, mate. Thanks to go. So there's Tommy. He's off, and so are we. So I really hope you enjoyed this. Predictions, don't put me on that. He does this all the time. No, because we're not doing predictions, because when I say who's going to win, they wreck. So I'm not going to say anything tonight. I'm responsible for his risk. Yeah.
No predictions, please, Jeff.
So I'm going to sit on the fence and not predict a winner tonight. But you can, of course, at home, get ready to enjoy the show. Remember, if you are watching on YouTube, we're now going to go over to XTV if you want to watch all the action. So subscribe, pay up for that. We're going to be back tomorrow night as well with another studio show, and obviously in Birmingham and London. So we've got a job to do. I'm out of here. As I said, take a quick break, and we'll be back with some racing very shortly.